Tomorrow is Mother's Day, so I think I'm going to make my mom a cheesecake or two. Let's see what we need to do now. First of all, I'm going to need a 9 or 10 inch springform pan. For the crust, we're going to need some chocolate cream-filled cookies, any kind. I use the generic type from the Dollar General. Some sugar, and a half a stick of butter. For the filling, I have 5 packs of cream cheese, half a dozen eggs, some sour cream, cocoa, a little bit of flour, flavoring, and the mint chocolate Toll House minis. And I'll also need some more sugar for the filling. Now, let's get started. First thing we have to do, wash our hands. Okay, the first thing we have to do is clean the cookies. We don't want to use the filling. So, get them nice and clean. Or, if you're diabetic or pre-diabetic like me, you might want to have somebody else help you lick the filling off. Get it all. When it's all cleaned off, we add it to the rest. After you've cleaned 15 cookies and have 30 cookie halves, then it's time to grind them. Have a little more than a cup of cookie crumbs, finely ground. A slight quarter cup of sugar, because this already is plenty sweet. Now to add a half a stick of butter, melted of course. Stir thoroughly. A little non-stick. Spread evenly in the bottom of the pan. And then press gently. And place in the oven for 10 minutes at 350. Ah, smells so good. And let it cool on a cooling rack. Now we want to kick the temperature up to 425. Okay, I've softened the 5 packs of cream cheese. It's 2.5 pounds. Add in 3/4 of a cup of sugar. And then blend until smooth. Once it's smooth and blended, we start blending in the eggs, one at a time. After all 6 eggs are blended in, make sure the sides are scraped. Next, we're going to add a 1/4 cup of cocoa. And blend it thoroughly. And a cup of sour cream. And as always, blend thoroughly. And finally, I've added the mint flavoring, 3 tablespoons of all-purpose flour, and about a cup of the real semi-sweet chocolate and mint mini morsels. Blend thoroughly. Now, you get to pour it into the pan. Oh, that smells good. That mint. Now we're going to put it into the preheated oven. It's at 425. I'm going to let it set for about 15 minutes, then I'm going to turn the temperature down to 325 for another 40 minutes. And like I said, I'm going to drop the temperature down to 325 and set the timer for another 40 minutes. Your cooking time may vary. I have to actually take a few minutes off this. You can see it's just starting to brown around the edges, raised up above the pan and splitting up on the tops. Perfect. Set the timer back, or the temperature back up to 375. Set the timer for 10 minutes. That's how long it takes for this to cool. And as it's cooling, I'm going to run a knife around the edge. See? And let it settle down inside. As it cools down, we're going to prepare the topping. Start with 16 ounces, 2 cups of sour cream. Add a 1/4 cup of sugar. Mint flavoring to taste. And some more of the mini mint chocolate chips. Blend it all together. I added 5 drops of green food coloring. And blended thoroughly. And you can see the cracks are starting to form all the way across. The topping will fill that in. Okay, it's cooled for 10 minutes. I'm going to spread this evenly across the top. Make sure to fill in all those cracks. Nice and even. And a handful more of the morsels sprinkled on the top for more flavor and color. 10 more minutes at 375. I'm going to let this cool for about 10 minutes, and then it goes into the refrigerator to chill until Mother's Day tomorrow. Bon appetit! Okay, next up on the Mother's Day cheesecake agenda is a no-bake Mandarin Orange cheesecake with a vanilla wafer crust. Always a popular one. I use the generic vanilla wafers. Then I fill the food processor with as many as I can. Got about a half a bowl now. Throw in a 1/4 cup of sugar and a half a stick of butter melted. I'm also going to sprinkle some orange peel into the blend. About a half a teaspoon to a teaspoon. And pour it into the bottom. I'm going to press this on the bottom and a little bit up the sides. A little more orange peel. And into the oven. 350 for 10 minutes. While the shell is cooking, I'm going to take a large can, this is 29 ounces of mandarin oranges, and drain off the juices. I'll take out a dozen of them, set them aside on a plate, chill them, and the rest of them go into the food processor. Off to the great whirling blades. This is real messy, so you just pulse a little bit. We don't want to puree them, we just want to shred them. Okay, I'm going to try this again, this time with the blade in it. That's it. And this is going to be poured into a strainer. Need to save the juice. I'm going to need about a half cup of the juice here shortly. While it's draining, I'll throw in a little bit more orange peel. About another teaspoon. Okay. Crust can come out. Everything's off. I took a half cup of the drained juice from the oranges, and I'm adding in a pack of Knox unflavored gelatin. I'm going to let this dissolve over a low heat. Stir it in well. Just starting to steam, so we're going to take it off the stove and blend it into the cream cheese. Now I have 3 packs of cream cheese and 3/4 cup of regular granulated sugar. I'm going to blend this together until it's smooth. Okay, the orange juice and gelatin mixture has been blended in thoroughly. Now I'm going to put this in the freezer and let it chill for about 30 minutes. You want to keep an eye on this. You don't want it to set up too much. This has been about 20 minutes, not 30, and it's set up about perfectly. Okay, now we're going to take a cup of heavy whipping cream in a deep, I like to chill the bowl. Not necessary as long as everything's room temperature above, and whip it until it is stiff. Okay, we have nice stiff peaks on here, and we're going to fold it into the gelatin now. Okay, I use a spatula to fold it in gently. I want to blend it thoroughly but not get too much air into it. And add the orange from earlier. We're going to add about a half of a jar, which is, I think, a tablespoon of orange extract. Whoops! Be very careful of that. And this is going to be spooned into the crust. And it's looking pretty good, smoothed out in there. One final addition. And now it's ready to chill overnight. And join the other one for Mother's Day over at Mom and Dad's. Yum, yum. Or, I'm sorry, bon appetit.